The cost of the Arab Spring and the demise of an icon of the UK high street. Two stories we're talking about with Edward Hadas today. Let's start with this Arab Spring piece. $225 billion poorer this region has become as a result of the Arab Spring. And these are your numbers, Breakingviews numbers,
Well,
right?
They're based on IMF estimates. And effectively what we did was we took the old estimates from 2010, before the Arab Spring, of growth rates, and then took the new estimates, and this is for Libya, Syria, and Egypt. Egypt being the biggest of these economies, the latest 2012 estimates for growth rate, and calculated what the gap was over the 5 years to 2015.
And you make the point, or a unit makes the point, that it's difficult given rising commodity prices, it's difficult given the slowdown in the global economy to actually work out exactly how big this number was. But you think this is a pretty good guess?
It's a rough guess. It's a 10% of the GDP that's been lost, or the would-be GDP that's been lost. And that corresponds pretty well to the kind of chaos and economic decline that we've seen in all three of these countries. It's going to be particularly rough in Syria, which is still in the middle of civil war. And Libya is really far from peace. But you can see even in Egypt, where there is a continuity of government, that these revolutions come with a pretty significant economic cost in terms of trying to set up a new regime.
And then the piece goes on to talk about the effects of this mitigated by a more even distribution of the wealth and perhaps good governance.
We hope so.
Well, is there evidence of that?
Not yet. And that's perhaps the most concerning thing, is that it's not at all clear that in Egypt we've really had a redistribution from the oligarchs that prospered to the people. If that comes, then I think people will say this was a worthy sacrifice. If it doesn't, then it just looks like a waste of time from the economic perspective.
All right. Okay. That piece, of course, you can find on the Breakingviews site. The other piece, this HMV, the demise of HMV. Now, I've got to say, my childhood wouldn't have been the same without a sort of hanging around, sort of smoking cigarettes surreptitiously out on a rainy Saturday afternoon outside the HMV.
And I think you're like most British people. This has gotten a remarkable amount of attention for a retailer that's been doomed for years. I mean, it's probably been a while since you went to a record store or a music store to buy your music. It's 70% to 90% of music is now downloaded or sold via the internet. So it shouldn't be a big deal, but everyone remembers their childhood and the time when they first discovered the X recording that moved them so much when they were 14, and it was at HMV. So it's an icon passing. And
that's the reason you're writing about it, of course. But the bigger point here is of course this vain battle with the internet.
Yeah, it's all you have on the side of HMV is a lot of sentimental memories, and everything else, including efficiency, distribution, cost, is on the side of the internet. Who wins? Internet.
All right. Edward, many thanks. Edward Hadas. For more agenda-setting insight, do watch our US Breakingviews show every day, 12:30 Eastern, 17:30 GMT. I'm Axel Threlfall. This is Reuters.